Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. So this is going to be a response video to Budget Bugout. He brought up an important issue, I think, about this idea that some gear reviewers are basically doing paid advertisements for companies. And I actually was going to do a video on this quite a while back, and I have the video ready to go, but I figured I would just sort of redo this free form in light of his recent video that he did. And the main point of his video was that if you are doing a video and you're being paid to do it by a company, which I can guarantee you, because of the limited reach of even the most major gear reviewers on YouTube, it's not going to be a whole hell of a lot. The biggest gear reviewer on YouTube, survival and prepper wise, is probably the Iraqi veteran guy, and he's not even really a gear reviewer. He's more of a tactical type stuff, but he does the odd gear review, nothing fancy, prepared minds moving up there in the ranks. There's a few others, but by and large, in terms of YouTube, you know what, in this genre, yeah, they might seem like they're big channels, but they're big fish in a small pond, and the small pond is survivalism and prepping. It's not a big hot topic. Remember, it's only 3% of the population who are survivalist prepper oriented. Maybe you'll actually get 3% if you throw in the campers and the backpackers and the explorers and expeditionists and all that. You might actually get 3% of the population gleaning these videos, but that's not a big slice of the market. It's worth it for them to, of course, sell a few flashlights, but I guarantee you nobody's getting rich off this. When you factor in all the time it takes to go and network with a company, to get something shipped out to you, to research it, to know your stuff, to go out and test it, get multiple camera angles, do all the video editing, and sometimes you have to, like, I've had to drive out to remote locations. When I did the monowalker video, and just for the record, I've never been paid to do a video. I've been given products, yes, but I don't see it as being given them, because for the monowalker, for instance, I went on a 1-week trip to the Rocky Mountains with that thing. The amount of money it cost me to invest in doing that whole review far exceeded the value of the item itself. And yeah, maybe the very, very minuscule trickle of ad revenue, and I mean minuscule, that you get from making these videos on YouTube may cover it in the long run, but that's not something I'm going to hold my breath on. It's more of an investment. When you're under the 50,000 subscriber mark on YouTube, when it comes to AdSense, you're making pennies. Maybe when you get up past 100,000, you could somewhat have a lifestyle built around AdSense revenue, especially in a niche genre where ads are targeted to certain populations. But honestly, it's nothing people are getting rich off. And it's so funny that we hold our fellow preppers and survivalists who are trying to bring these product reviews to us to such a high standard, yet so much stuff on YouTube gets no scrutiny from survivalists and preppers. We should be, if anything, supporting people within our genre, and I don't just mean blindly supporting anybody who puts something up and says, this is a great product. Obviously, there's people who are just doing it for free stuff and money, and they're honestly very small channels, very marginal. They don't have a large audience, and they probably won't get a large audience because they're going to lose as many subs as they get, because the reputation is going to suffer from reviewing bad stuff. We hold each other to such a high standard sometimes, and even I catch myself getting into that negativity bias where I'm scrutinizing everything within my genre, because that's all we expose ourselves to. We're not exposing ourselves to the PewDiePies and the other major YouTubers who are just churning out mundane, entertaining nonsense. From our perspective, of course, obviously their viewers find value in it, which is great. I'm not, necessarily knocking them for being as popular as they are. But at the same time, they're not really held to the standard that we are. They can come on and fart on camera and everybody would say hurrah, and they get 1,000 likes. Because preppers are so critically minded, we're so suspicious of everything more than the average person. You have to be. To be a prepper, you have to be kind of suspicious of everything. You're always looking around corners. You are, to a certain extent, I don't like the word paranoid, because that doesn't do the reality of the precariousness of this world justice. You should be skeptical of things. You should be cautious. unfortunately, we take it out on each other sometimes with our higher moral standard that we hold for gear reviewers, when this isn't an easy job. And I do call it a job. I'm not looking for sympathy at all here. I do this to myself. I've made an investment in my channel because I've realized that, I may not be the best prepper, but I have a lot of ideas with regards to prepping. And in doing this, it's a learning process for me because I'm learning from a lot of my subscribers who, are clearly more advanced macro preppers than I, the struggling micro prepper who's working towards being a meso and maybe even having at some point down the road some macro prepping capabilities. If you don't know what I'm talking about with that, go check out my video, micro versus macro preppers. So we're not getting rich off this. I guarantee you that. The amount of work that I've put into this channel, especially over the past year, I've not even made a fraction of minimum wage off all the hours that I've put into the channel. Yeah, I get a little tired of seeing the through night stuff. Nonetheless, I would still support that over a lot of the other, crap that just gets so much airplay, like the Vine compilations, all that stuff that has all the kiddies going crazy every day on YouTube, every other viral video that comes out. It's very hard to build up a channel to where these guys have taken their channels to. And I know I can only imagine the struggle to get in a survival and prepping niche to get to amount of subscribers that you can actually base a living off of. You had to have put in a lot of work for that. That just doesn't happen. There is no such thing as getting free stuff from companies. So, forget about that idea that gear reviewers are just swimming in free stuff and life is all, sunshine and rainbows. It's not, man. I'd be far more advanced in my preps if I worked at McDonald's, but this is my passion, and I think I found my passion, and it's doing this kind of stuff, along the lines of emergency preparedness and the Apocatalk stuff. I love brainstorming, the theory that comes with it, and the discourse about grid down survival. It's just an intriguing topic for me to focus my time on. So I just wanted to contribute my 2 cents to that debate. Let me know what you think in the comments. This might be a good one, I hope, with respect to generating some comments in the video. So let's hear it. Thanks for watching Canadian Prepper Out.
Check out the Canadian Preppers Network blog, an excellent resource for survivalists and preppers.